These are the fire and ice paddles from Speedup, a new company founded by former tennis players that's goal is to create paddles for tennis player converts. Both of these paddles are elongated unibody Gen 2 thermoform paddles with edge foam injected in the perimeter. The difference between the two is that the fire is 14mm with a curved top, while the ice is 16mm but in the rectangular shape. What makes these paddles for tennis players is the extra long handle they have at 6.25 inches. Most elongated paddles have handles at 5.5 inches and under, so this longer handle allows you to put both hands on it comfortably. This allows more players to hit two-handed backhands without needing to put the index finger of their non-dominant hand on the back of the paddle face to create space for both of their hands. One more thing about the handle is how the paddle adds a polyurethane mold on top, similar to what tennis rackets do with their handles, which makes the handle feel even more familiar to tennis players. Now, I have reviewed a few paddles on this channel before that also have this longer handle. First was the Proline Energy by Pickleball Apes, and recently I took a look at the Yobi Series 1. The common characteristic of all these longer handle paddles, other than having more space for both hands, is their ability to let you whip the paddle much more quickly on shots. This allows you to generate much more power and spin on baseline drives and serves. I'm able to consistently get good power and depth on my serves, and I was giving people issues with my third shot drives. The difference between the three brands are the dimensions of their paddles. The Proline Energy is notable for its extra elongated 17x7 shape with a curved top, while the Series 1 has the traditional rectangular elongated 16.5-inch length, but with a slightly narrower width at 7.3 inches. Meanwhile, both the Speedup paddles have the 16.5 by 7.5 dimensions, so they're more similar to the Yobi Series 1, as they all have carbon fiber surfaces, while the Proline Energy has a dynamic Kevlar blend on the surface. That Kevlar blend makes the Proline Energy softer and more plush compared to those other paddles, and the dimensions change the sweet spot a bit, or it's longer but narrower. Both the Yobi and Speedup paddles have noticeably stiffer faces and produce more pop at the kitchen line. The thinner core fire paddle has the stiffest feel, followed by the 16mm ice paddle, and then it's the Yobi Series 1, and then obviously the Proline Energy as the least stiff. For the spin, all three brands felt the same, and I was able to generate high RPMs on serves and drives. If there are RPM differences between them, I feel like they aren't too drastic or noticeable, and the spin generation is comparable to all the other Gen 2 carbon fiber paddles. For maneuverability, you would think that these long handles would increase the swing weights of the paddles, but they're all balanced in a way where the weight distribution isn't too head heavy. The Proline Energy has a swing weight of around 120, the Yobi Series 1 is a bit higher around 122, and the fire and ice are around 115 and 119 respectively. However, this weight distribution also does affect the sweet spot and stability of the Speedup paddles. Despite the edge foam in the perimeter, both paddles have below average sweet spots for Gen 2 paddles, and blocks against hard shots will make the paddle feel a bit unstable in the hand. I'm still experimenting around with lead tape setups, but since the swing weight for both is on the lower side, I've been adding weights starting from the throat and up the sides of the paddle to help with these issues. Overall, compared to other elongated Gen 2 paddles, both the Speedup paddles generate some of the highest power on drives, have a stiff feel that gives them higher than average pop at the net, but do suffer from a smaller sweet spot and lower stability, but this is something that can be remediated with a good lead tape setup. I think both the fire and ice paddles are fantastic paddles for singles, especially the 14mm fire. Though I myself personally wouldn't use the fire in doubles as it is a bit more unforgiving and recommend the ice instead. Speedup Pickleball has done a great job creating a very solid paddle option for tennis player converts. When I first transitioned over from tennis, my first paddle had a handle of 4.25 inches, which felt very uncomfortable for me. The Speedup paddle handles can make any tennis player convert feel comfortable, especially when they're able to generate great power from the baseline. While I did notice some issues with the sweet spot, the majority of tennis players coming in will have an easier learning curve and be able to hit shots more accurately than other athletes entering the sport. Both paddles are also affordably priced at $120, but with a discount code, this drops to under $110, making these very easy recommendations for Gen 2 thermoform paddles, as they are in the same price range as many of the newer budget brands. If you do want to pick one up, I've linked my discount code here and in the video description below that will get you a discount off your order from the Speedup Pickleball website.
You're like the slowest one.